starting a new set or a new playthrough today. Um, the last one we played as Norway as Harald, and it was a pretty good game. But it got me thinking about DOM, or essentially having games with more DOM-focused civilizations. And one civ I haven't played in a while. In fact, one of my least DOM civ player civilizations that I've played is Genghis Khan, and I'm gonna try and um, I'm gonna try and play as him, and let's talk through basically what I'm thinking about right now. The first time I played Genghis Khan was years ago, and honestly, I never quite understood how Or2, the mechanics around Or2, which is the Mongolian ability, and how to really use cavalry, heavy cavalry, and light cavalry units. Um, so essentially, it was far easier for me to play my DOM games with civilizations like Zulu and later with Byzantium and Alexander, because they were pretty much more focused on land units, which is what I got comfortable with. Um, but over the years, I've kind of seen Mongolia or Genghis Khan specifically, as having abilities which could be used in very interesting fashion. So, just speaking through what Genghis Khan's abilities are. So, this is a Mongolian ability. If you start a trade route if you send a trade route to a civilization, you are going to get an extra level of diplomatic visibility. Now, why is that important? On a lesser scale, with more diplomatic visibility means you can see and have more intel on what your civilized neighboring civs are doing or other civs are doing. But more importantly, when you have a higher level of diplomatic visibility than your neighbor, you essentially have a combat bonus against them in a fight. Um, you get an automatic trading post um in the other city, which essentially there is a gold multiplying effect. So any player on Genghis Khan should definitely be war oriented, and I'm suspecting because of the trade route mechanic or the trading post mechanic, it would be reliant more on commercial hubs than other districts. Um, the Mongolian horde essentially is the cavalry class units. All cavalry class units gain +3 combat strength. The chance to capture defeated enemy cavalry units is, I think it's good. Um, Now, I'm pretty sure that in the games that I've played as Mongolia, I've never ended up using it. So I'm hoping we end up in situations where that happens. Now, one thing that I've thought about is if the enemy cavalry class unit is a unique unit, does Mongolia get the unique unit? And that is something a mechanic I'm going to try about. Which is why I'm like when we set the map, I'm going to go ahead and pick the civilizations, and we will play exclusively against civilizations that have a unique cavalry unit. That's the metric we're going to pick our other civs in this game. Um, the Keshig is a strong unit, but it's a range unit. Um, and yeah, I've not really honestly used Keshiks very effectively in battle, but we can figure that out and learn in this game. The Ordu is a decent building. It's the stable replacement for Mongolia. Besides what stables give, like the combat bow experience for siege and cavalry class, um, the Ordu gives a movement point to the heavy cavalry and light cavalry units trained in the city. So I think it's definitely a must build. Now, encampments by and large will be built. Definitely will be prioritized. But I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to be prioritizing encampments everywhere. Like in the case of Zulu, right? If the Khandas, you probably want to build them everywhere in every city, and then essentially build up a military empire. Um, but with Mongolia, I think most frontier cities should have an encampment. So if there is a six city empire, I don't think I'll be building more than two encampments. And I would say one of them has an ordu and the other has barracks, and essentially plan from there. More if we want to build up a like yeah, I would consider a third encampment if the situation demands it. But typically in the early game, there is always a conflict. Do you want to spend the production to build an encampment, then a barracks or an ordu, or do you want to just build units and try to rush something or someone rather? That's always a choice that kind of might bog you down or might change. Um, so if you're going to keep that option open, sure. But generally speaking, I would say from experience, the encampment would not be one of the first districts you would build in a city. But you would definitely build them in a frontier city. The best situation for Mongolia, I would say, is you see a neighbor, you essentially see if the halfway point between your capital and the other civilization city or capital that you see, if at the halfway point you can plonk a city and put an encampment with walls as fast as possible, that becomes a good way to start the game. Um, yeah, but the capital itself should be more growth focused and focused on other districts. Um, I think the commercial hub will be more important. But since the way the map, the we won't get currency for a while. We will be going towards currency earlier than other games. Um, but I'm expecting commercial hubs will be coming on online sooner. But I don't think they'll be the first district. I think it'll be the second district. Um, the first district, I think, is still the campus, really. If I'm thinking about it. Um, but largely, I want to play the land. If I see a strong holy site location, I will definitely consider it. Um, if I see a strong campus location, I'll obviously consider it, and then I'll play from there. I don't want to commit myself into a certain build set off the bat, even before I've seen what's around me, and play from there. And generally, the idea is to have fun. Um, as usual, this the difficulty level is going to be deity. Game speed standard for map type. Since I'm leaning towards a war game, I'm going to pick a Pangea map. Um, Now the question with the Pangea is it'll be standard with 8 civs. Um, the thing with Pangea is usually I every time I start Pangea, I expect a rough rectangle, right? Maybe like a few dips and peaks in on the edges, but roughly a rectangle. That may not always be the case. Sometimes you will end up with like a fat V or a fat H, or a fat X, or even in some cases, or like a land mass that is snaking in some some alphabetical pattern, and essentially in a way that no sieve is bordered by more than two sieves, and essentially just creates a chain. And those kind of maps are easier for domination because you just have to pretty much go at the one neighbor that you see and just keep moving. Um, I am hoping that the land would be more complicated, where you essentially see land in all directions, and in the worst case, you are in the middle of the map and you have six civilizations surrounding you. That would be like a situation which would be formidable to play in, but it is something that I want to kind of reconstruct. So to that end, with Pangea, um, As far as the map type, I would want a low sea level for more land. Um, the temperature, the rainfall can be wet. The temperature can be standard. The start position, um, I think, um, yeah, I think legendary and abundant have been pretty much the combinations I've played in recent times. I want to keep them in. Um, as far as city states are concerned, now, okay, before city states, I want to talk about what modes we want online. Um, I, as Mongolia, I want to play with the secret societies mode, but I do not want to pick Sanguine Pact. I want to play secret societies in a way. So, with secret societies, Void Singers pushes you towards a culture or a religious victory. And essentially, it makes it easier if you are aiming for a culture or a religion victory. So I'm hoping that the AI essentially uses that better than I've seen the AI use. Similarly, Hermetic Order leans more towards um, a science victory. Owls of Minerva is kind of spy oriented and gold oriented, so it kind of can flex in multiple directions, which is essentially what I'm leaning towards right now. The Sanguine Pact is purely designed for war with production. You put down the castles and essentially get production. Um, it would be the logical choice for, but I don't want to play Sanguine Pact with Genghis Khan. I want to essentially go with Owls of Minerva, which is why I'm picking it. I'm hoping that the AI seriously makes better choices on how it picks and uses these modes and makes a game of it. Um, we will keep monopolies and corporations on because I fear that if I turn this on, which I've done so often in my other games, if I see a pivot towards culture, I might just end up taking it. So I'm going to hold off on ticking that box. I want to keep my. I want to, if even if I do win culture, let's say, if assume I win culture in the end of it, I want it to be a hard won war battle. I don't want it to be easy. Heroes and legends I'm going to skip because it's the variability around what can actually happen, which heroes you get, and which heroes the AI picks can be very randomized. The RNG with this is a little too obscene. Um, yeah, I'm not a fan of dramatic ages or apocalypse mode. Now, barbarian clans would be a good mode to play with, but I'm going to keep this off. I'm going to keep this off simply because we will play, like my last game, I'm going to play with 18 CS um, on a map that has a lot of land. And yeah, and essentially because of no barbarian clans, the camps will not evolve into um, city states. So this 18 number is what we start with, and realistically, I'm expecting 6 to 8 of these will get conquered. So at the end of it, there'll be 10 city states towards the end of the game that everyone is competing for. Our Mongolia is geared for conquest, but unlike Germany, for example, who gets a bonus taking down city states, Mongolia doesn't have that. So basically, we will treat friends as friends and enemies as enemies. That's pretty much what my MO is. There are some CSs who, if I feel that they are more valuable than the others, I will try to soothe them and keep them on my side. But if not, we definitely war and conquer. Especially on our front, on our borders. Anything on our borders that's too close or affecting with our plans, we definitely take down. Um, and that pretty much applies to our neighboring civilizations too. The name of the game is to be aggressive and push early, and try to min max the early game to maximize our war game. Whether I'm successful or not, who knows, right? I mean, the first 100 turns are going to be really interesting here. Um, I mean, the worst thing that can happen with the Mongolia start is I spawn next to a wonder and essentially get a religion or get a holy site and then work towards a religion. That, yeah, if that happens, then I don't know what's going to happen towards as the game progresses. But yeah, I mean, we make our plans. I'm setting up the map in a way that gives me the best odds to do what I want to do. But whether it actually happens, we don't know. Um, okay, now we want to pick our saves. Yeah, all victory types are enabled. That's fine. Um, anybody who has a so America. Now, I want to say Rough Rider America is the better of the lot. Oh, you don't even have the, yeah, you have the Rough Rider. Okay, that's so Rough Rider is a unique unit for America for Teddy in this version of Teddy. We will pick that. We want to pick civilizations that have a unique cavalry class unit. Mamluks, Arabia. Which one? The peaceful one or the war one? Uh, this should be fun. Sultan. Number three, of course, Byzantium. The Tagma is very formidable. Again, I'm picking these guys with unique units is because I'm really hoping that um, I'm hoping to capture them and use them myself, sort of, you know. Um, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. That's fine. China doesn't have. Okay. Egypt. We can pick Egypt, but I'm going to hold off because I don't consider Mariano, the chariot archer, as a. Yeah, I think it's a ranged unit. If I'll pick Egypt if I don't find anybody else. Yeah, Ethiopia has a cavalry. Uh, who else? Uh, Gaul, Georgia, Germany, Ludwig, Grand Colombia. Grand Colombia is, yeah, it's a good choice, but I think, yeah, when I've spawned next to Grand Colombia, it's been more than a coin flip. I think I want to say 2 out of 3 times I've died to Grand Colombia. Okay. Pericles. Hungary. Hungary should be fun. And I'm leaning towards Mali at this point. India with the Varu. India is. Uh, India tends to be very peaceful. Like, I've not seen. I don't think I've ever seen Gandhi declare like a surprise war. Um, no, hold on. I'm going to hold off on Gandhi. See, I'm sure there are other stuff. Okay. The Treb. That's a trebuchet replacement. Okay. Mali has the Mandekalu. I think Mali is a better bet. Um, now anybody else? Okay, we'll definitely pick Mali there. But anybody else who's a better option for us? Vietnam, ranged unit. Sweden, Somalia. Spain, Scythia. Scythia would be fun. Okay. So, um, I want Scythia. Who do I take out to put Scythia in? Hmm. I think I'm going to switch out Grand Colombia with Scythia. Um, I mean, they're both equally. Yeah, they're both they're both equally brutal as neighbors. Um, but yeah, that's fine. I think this is fine. Um, okay, who is there? Anybody else we would want more? Scotland, no. Russia. Russia will skew the game in a very different direction if they. No, I think I won't pick Russia. Russia is in the early game. Russia's neighbor is easy to conquer. Um, no Rome, no Portugal, Persia. Nope, 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 nope. Nubia. No, no, no. Okay, so I think we'll leave it at that. We have America, the Teddy Roosevelt as Rough Rider, Saladin as Sultan Arabia, Byzantium, Basil, Ethiopia, Scythia, Hungary, and Mali. So Hungary has a color conflict. Uh, okay, what do you want? You want to be gray? Yeah, let's make you gray. And you should be, yeah, whatever this color is. All right. Um, do I want to pick my the city states that I want to be? What I want? Do I want to pick them? No, let's keep it random. Random is fun. If we choose only the industrial ones or the it creates imbalances and definitely can make the game easier. I think we just keep it like let RNG win in this case. So, yep, that's it. I'm gonna start it.